I.S.U.P.K.
I'm a war to the damn done. It can't stop me. Nothing new up under the sun.
Hey, what the brother bringing out is heavy. Give me Judah in the Apocrypha. Give me the book of Judah, chapter 5, verse 17. All right, what the brother bringing out is heavy. He's telling you, you know, that we are in the conditions, we help put ourselves in the conditions that we in. A lot of people will always talk about, you know, what about, you know, the things that you all do, you know, and acting like we just criticize everybody else. No. We criticize our own people too. Right. We tell our people to, you know, you can't serve God and smoke weed at the same time. Right. You know, you got to have a moral compass about the things that you're doing. Right. We try to teach our people the moral compass. We don't just go against, you know, so-called other nations or people. No, we are here to go against, we telling our people the reason why the other nations are treating us this way is because we don't have a moral compass within ourselves and in our community. That's why we get treated the way that we get treated. You know, they know that they can tell us to go vote, and we can vote in leaders that are not going to do anything for our people. They're not going to do nothing for our people. But they know we've been voting them in for so long, and we've been taking this abuse, you know what I'm saying? And we've been getting played for so long that they know that they can continue to do it. Because we don't have a moral compass, and we don't have anybody to fight in our behalf. And that's what the brother is trying to bring out. You know, why are we going through the things that we go through? I'm gonna read you something in the book of Judah. Right? It was a man, he understood what, you know, the children of God was going through, and he understood why they was going through it, and he was trying to teach the other kings how to treat the children of God. And told them that you'll be able to do anything you want to do to the children of God if they're not with their God. He said if they're not with their God, you can do whatever you want to do to them. We can overcome them and overtake them because they don't have anybody to protect them. And that's what's going on with our people today. We don't have anybody to protect us. That's why we, you know, when we're looking for the wrong people to help us with justice, we going to the oppressor asking him, why is he oppressing us? This is what an oppressor does. He oppresses. We can't go to him and ask for justice. A gazelle can't go to a lion and ask him, why do you continue to eat me? He's going to tell you because he's a lion. This is what he does. You know, so we don't have anybody to protect us, and that's why we're going through what we're going through, because we don't have a moral compass. But I'm going to read you something that they understood thousands of years ago that we are trying to explain to our people today because it's still relevant. Read what you got.
Judah, chapter 5, verse 17. In the wells they sang, not before their God, and they prosper because the God that hate us, iniquity was with them.
He said, man, our people prospered when our God was with us and we wasn't sinning against him. This is how we prosper, when we don't sin against our God, that our God is with us. our problem today is we continue to sin against our God.
Right.
We want to be like the other nations of people. The other nations of people do not serve the God of Israel.
Right.
So when we try to be like them, by default, we are going against our God.
Right.
By simply trying to be like America and simply trying to ingratiate ourselves with America, we are going against our God.
Right.
Because America is against the God of Israel.
Right.
Clearly. It's not even up for debate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this brother, this man from another nation, he understood what God's chosen people, how they win and how they lose.
Right.
Read it one more time, verse 17.
Come. And the wells, they said, not before their God, they prospered, because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
Because the God that hate iniquity was with them.
Right.
We didn't sin, we didn't commit iniquity, so the God who hated iniquity was with them. All right, keep reading.
Verse 18, but when they were departed from the way which he appointed them.
And he said, when they departed away from the way that he appointed them. See, there was a way that God appointed the children of Israel. He told them to do certain things. He told them to follow the things that he said.
Right.
There were certain things that he wanted them to do, and there were certain things that he wanted them not to do. And this is what he called his law. All right, these are his commandments. The commandments of God were made for the children of Israel to follow them.
Right.
If they followed them, they would prosper.
Right.
If they didn't follow them, then they would not succeed in anything that they done.
Right.
You know, and this man from another nation understood that.
Right.
All right? Read it one more time.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed.
They were what?
They were destroyed.
When we departed from the way of our God, we are destroyed. That's why we getting shot down in the street. That's why when you go, you know, into the hood, into the barrio, you know what I'm saying, to the ghetto, that's why you find our people destroyed. That's why you find so many drug dealers, drug users. You know what I'm saying? You find all of these things, you know, brothers in gangs, brothers who are committing all sorts of crimes. Our sisters is out here lost while the father's not in the house. It's because we are not following our God. That's what's going on. You know, there is a reason why we're going through what we're going through. It's because we are not following our God. We don't have a moral compass. We don't know right from wrong.
Right.
Somebody has to teach right from wrong. That's what the prophets of old done. They came out into the streets and doing the same thing we doing. Teaching right and wrong. Teaching you what to do and what not to do. You want to prosper, do this. You want to be destroyed, do this. All right? Keep reading. He said they didn't follow their God, so they was destroyed. Keep reading.
And many battles, very sore.
And they lost every battle they was into. They lost all the battles because they didn't have a God that was with them to help them win the battles. You going marching is not a battle that you're going to win. You marching is not, you know, hands up, don't shoot, all that old stuff. That is not battles that you're going to win. They've been marching since the 50s,
Right.
in the 60s. And they are still marching today for the same thing that they was marching for in the 60s.
Right.
That's not a battle that you're going to win.
Right.
You can't win a battle when you don't have your God with you.
Right.
That's why we're losing the battle, because we don't have our God. Keep reading.
It were led captives. It were led,
And they were what?
it were led captives
And were led captives. Keep reading.
into a land that was not theirs.
And were led captives to a land that was not theirs. Does that sound familiar, black man?
Right.
He said, when you forgot your God, then you lost battles. You know, the Africans were able to subdue you
Right.
and sell you to the Europeans.
Right.
They were able to subdue you
Right.
and put you in chains, man, and bring you over here in captivity. The Bible is prophesying this same captivity hundreds and thousands of years ago.
Right.
It's talking about your plight, black man. It's right here in the Bible. Read it one more time.
Verse 18.
But when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very sore, and were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
And they was led captive into a land that was not theirs.
Right.
Black man, this Bible is talking about you. And we trying to tell you why we were led captive into a land that's not ours. Because we refused to follow our God. We didn't follow what God told us to do.
Right.
We didn't follow his commandments. And we were led into captivity, just like all the other captivities. America was a captivity for the children of God. The same way Egypt was, the same way the Assyrian was, the same way the Babylonians was, the Persian Medes, the Romans, the Greeks. It's the same captivities, man, we keep going through because we not serving our God. We going through these same captivities for the same reason. Because we're not serving our God. And the scripture said that we're going to be led into a land that was not ours. Keep reading.
And the temple of their God was cast to the ground. And their cities were taken.
And the cities were taken and everything was cast to the ground, man. We didn't have any more identity.
Right.
We lost our identity because we did not serve our God. We lost our heritage because we did not serve our God. Black man, Hispanic man, Native American man, this is what's going on. This is why we are in the conditions we in. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You done lost, Hispanic man, you done lost, you know, the Mexicans done lost, you know, America, man. This America was part of Mexico. Y'all do know that, right? It was all one.
Right.
The Native Americans, man, they and the Mexicans, they the same people. The indigenous people of the North America, so-called North America, this is their country.
Right.
This was the country that God gave to them. You know what I'm saying? They came over here and God let them flourish and prosper inside of this land. But they lost it because they were not serving their God. And that's what's going on. They lost them battles. You know what I'm saying? Because they were not serving their God. That's why they lost the battles. All the battles that they, you know, fought with the Americans, they lost it because they didn't follow their God. Right. Keep reading.
And their cities were taken by the enemies.
By who?
By the enemies.
And their cities was taken by the enemies. This is what the scriptures say, man. What's going to happen? Because they didn't follow their God. Keep reading.
Right. Verse 19. But now are they returned to their God.
But here's the good news. When you return back into your God, right, there is good news. If we can all return back unto our God from all of the atrocities that we went through, we look at that and we never forget those atrocities that we went through. The same way they don't want you to forget 9/11, well, you better not forget slavery. Right. You better not forget the Jim Crow laws. Right. You better not forget Planned Parenthood, putting a Planned Parenthood in every black community. Right. You better not forget that. You got to remember that and return back unto your God. What's going to happen when we return back into our God?
And our come up from the places where they were scattered.
And then we got to come back from all the places that we're scattered. The blacks, we are on the four corners of the earth, man. We everywhere. God scattered the Israelites through the transatlantic slave trade everywhere. Everybody had their hand in on the transatlantic slave trade, man. That's how we got to the four corners of the earth. Right. That, you know, we in Japan. This black man in Japan. You know what I'm saying? Guess who Kim Jong-un's favorite person is? A black man. Right. That's all the way in North Korea. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. His favorite person is a black man. You know, his best friend is a black man. You know what I'm saying? Black people are everywhere. You know, it's all kind of black. We was in the Vietnam War, man. They was having kids over there too.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? It's black people in Vietnam. Right. You know what I'm saying? We all around the world, man. You know, but we, you know, everybody had their hand in on the transatlantic slave trade. It wasn't just the Europeans. Right. It wasn't just the Americans had their hand in on our slave trade. Right. The Arabs did, the Chinese did, the Japanese did. You know what I'm saying? Everybody had a hand in on our slave trade. The Africans. That's why we scattered all around the world. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it's a black man up in, you know, Antarctica in a igloo, you know what I'm saying, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? We everywhere. Black people are everywhere.
Right.
I'm sure there's one in Antarctica in an igloo right now, chilling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to figure out a way how he can hook up cable to an igloo. You know what I'm saying? For free.
Right.
That's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? We everywhere, man. You know, so we were scattered to the four corners of the earth, but we got to remember who we were while we are in these places where we were scattered. And the Lord said he's going to bring us back to him. Keep reading.
And have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is.
And he want to bring us back to Jerusalem. He want to bring us back to, you know, our heritage.
Right.
He want to bring us back to, you know, being who we were. We don't know who we were. We in America. We think we Americans. You know what I'm saying? We in America. They told us we were African Americans. So guess what? Now we think we African Americans.
Right.
We don't know who the hell we are. But God said he's going to bring all that back to remembrance, man.
Right.
And bring us back to him. Back to Jerusalem. Keep reading.
And are seated in the hell country, for it was desolate. Verse 20. Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in his people.
And he said, man, listen to him. Now, if it be any error inside of this people, what's error? Us not following the commandments of God.
Right.
That's our error. That's our doom.
Right.
That's the detriment when we don't follow the commandments of God that was given to the children of Israel on Mount Sinai. You know what I'm saying? If we don't understand that, we don't get it, we don't start being obedient to our God, what's going to happen?
And they said against their God.
And they stand against their God. Keep reading.
Let us consider that this should be their ruin.
And this is what the other nations of people know, black man, that you don't know. That if we continue to, you know, be divided amongst one another, when we continue to, you know, be gangbangers against one another,
Right.
when we continue to sell dope to one another, we continue to murder one another, we continue to do all of these crimes, man, that, you know, we shouldn't be doing to one another.
Right.
God said, man, that's going to be our ruin. You know what I'm saying? When we continue to not be the chosen people of God, God said that's going to be our ruin.
Right.
That's why we're in the conditions we're in. Because we are not doing what he told us to do. We don't know who we are. We got to stay. And if the other nations of people keep us divided, if everybody can keep us divided, then they can rule over us. They can trample over us, man. They can do whatever the hell they want to do to us because God, we have divided ourselves.
Right.
And we don't know who we are. So we can't come back to God if we divided.
Right.
So it's in their best interest to keep us divided.
Right.
It's in their best interest to make you a Democrat or a Republican. So you can be divided against your brother. It's in their best interest to make you a gangbanger, a Crip, or a Blood, a GD or BD.
Right.
So you can be divided against your brother.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is what it's in the best interest. Because as long as they can do that, they can rule over you, black man.
Right.
That's what you got to understand, man. You got to understand that when we don't have, you know, any, you know, togetherness, then we don't have any power. You want power, black man? We got to come together.
Right.
Hispanic man, we got to come together. You Native Americans, we got to come together, man. That's how we get power. We can't be divided and have power. We can't be divided and then wonder why we getting trampled all over. It's because they know as long as we divided, we have no power.
Right.
So it's in the best interest of the other nations of people to keep us divided. So they can have all the power and we can be in subjection to them. Keep reading.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in his people, and they said against their God, let us consider that this should be their ruin.
Right.
and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
Right. He said, man, and let us go up. If they divided and they sinning against their God, let us go up so we can overcome them. That's how we get overcame. Martin Luther King was walking with the oppressor, holding hands, right, talking about we shall overcome. Right. How the hell is he going to overcome with his hand with the oppressor? Right. I mean, you know, and our people still to this day will hold hands and sing that song. Loud, too, with pride. Talking about we gonna overcome. Well, the scripture just said something contrary to that. The scripture just said that if we are not following our God, and if we are divided as a people, that we will be overcame. How we gonna overcome when we divided? It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen, man. So the Bible, you know, we tell you the wisdom that's inside of the Bible, that's how we're supposed to live off of. Right. That's the moral compass that we're supposed to have. If we don't have that wisdom, man, that's inside of these scriptures, we don't have anything. We're going to stay divided, and we're going to stay against one another. And we're going to always be overcame. Keep reading.
Verse 21, but if there be no iniquity in their nation.
And he said, but if there be no iniquity inside of their nation. What does that mean? That means that we are not sinning against our God. That's what that means. If all of our people, man, come back to the Lord and started to obey, started to do what he said to do, there is a reward for that. There is a reward for obedience. Keep reading.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord not pass by.
He said, man, if they sinning against their God and they are divided against one another, then let's go up against them, because we'll win that battle. We're going to win because they don't have anybody to protect them. Right. But if they are not sinning against their God and they are together and they are doing the commandments of God and what he told them to do. Read it one more time.
Let my Lord not pass by.
He said, we need to pass by them. We don't need to bother them if they serving their God. That's the power that I'm talking about. You don't get power by marching and begging. That ain't what you get power by. You get power by being obedient to our God and coming together as a people. That's how we get power. You don't get power by marching and begging. The Americans didn't come over here and march to the British. They didn't go. They went to war against the British. They didn't beg the British to stop shooting them, stop oppressing them. The Boston Tea Party was not a march. Right. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. It had nothing to do with them marching to the British, telling them to quit oppressing them. That ain't what was going on. We got to come together as a people, man, like all other peoples do. We can't be divided as a people and think that we're going to get some kind of power from just, out of nowhere. That ain't how it happened, man. We get power by coming together as a people, man. That's how we get power. That's how, we'll have these other nations of people to respect us. They don't respect us because we ain't got a moral compass, man. Because we're willing to do anything for $1. We're willing to do anything for try to one-up somebody. Instead of, coming together, man, and having a moral compass, and the world seeing, man, that these are the people who we should be like. Right. We should be like them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no homosexuals inside of their nation. You know what I'm saying? They're not out here shooting and killing nobody. Gang banging. They're not doing that. Right. We got to be an example to the world, man. Because without us, man, the world is doomed. And we doomed right along with it when we acting like the world. Right. Keep reading. Read it one more time.
But if there be no a nicotine dirty nation, let my Lord not pass by. Lest their Lord defend them.
Let's what?
Lest my Lord defend them.
He said, man, let's God defend them. Leave them alone unless they God defend them. They God is going to defend them, man, because they are following his commandments.
Right.
That's how we get justice, man. We don't get justice by marching and laying down in the middle of the street.
Right.
You get justice by doing these commandments so our God can defend us, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like he has always done.
Right.
Our God has always defended us, man,
What?
when we follow his commandments. Reason why he's not defending us right now is because we not following his commandments.
Right.
Nobody tell you cry. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it works out.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, sold packs. I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, for this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain. Something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord?